Hi, I'm John. This is my show, Sports Reckoning. It's so funny. It's like, people that are in YouTube to try and get subscribers so they can get their 1,000 subscribers so they can get their page monetized, right? They're so fake and shit. It's just like their talents are like they do editing, right? Usually what happens with those people is that they know how to do editing, right? Because they're really not funny. They're just lame. They're such fucking losers and shit, right? So, John Mangini, I have no problem giving compliments where compliments are earned and shit, right? I love John Mangini's collection. It's fucking awesome. And there's no arguing, right? There's no arguing that John Mangini is one of the most knowledgeable people around in sports cards with all kinds of sports cards. It's not just baseball too. He knows a lot of different stuff too. He knows a lot of shit. He actually researches. When he does a card and stuff, he researches it, and it's other stuff that he's interested into. I'm sure he's got all kinds of knowledge, and I would never even deny that and knock that. And like I said, I'll totally give credit where it's due. He has a lot of baseball card knowledge, and I'm sure that includes sports knowledge and all kinds of different genres of sports and stuff. I mean, he can even show you a fucking Pocahontas card if you want him to. Now, see, like John Mangini, that joke should be so funny to you, and you can only have heard that joke, and it can only carry that weight of being as funny as it is. If we haven't had the history of what we had, then that joke's not as funny as like. But when I say it there, now it's funny and shit, right? And part of what I do is because I am intelligent and stuff, and I know, like I'm not setting this up. I don't know. I am totally winging it, right? I just get up. I don't have the time to like set shit up and like do proper editing. It's like when you see like when I put like the description in this video, I just copy and paste like a description I've been copy and pasted 100 other times. It's just, I found one that has a lot of this stuff. It has a lot of names, and I just throw it in there. I don't even care what the fuck it says. And I don't at all. And then the same thing with like the tabs. They got that button now. You just copy it and boom. Because you couldn't copy and paste the tabs before, which I fucking hated and shit, right? But that's how I learned like the certain people's names in the sports car community. Because it's like, well, I got to hit my tags with all the names of the sports car people. And that's how I got familiar with their names and learning them. Because I had to have enough names to fill up the tags and shit, right? You got to learn those people's things and stuff, right? But they're just like, man, I have lost like so much respect for all these people. They're just total idiots. But here's the thing, John Mangini. You had to appreciate the video I told you to burn your cards and shit and said they all have demons and shit, and it's like half truths, right? Well, I don't really want you to burn your cards and shit. No, I really don't, shit, right? But there kind of is demons attached to your shit because you did conjure black magic. That is what you did. It's a thing about a realization of what you did. You need to be able to deal with the reality of who you actually are and what are the forces that you're dealing with. And you can't just throw a label positive, with a negative. It's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? It's so much deeper, and I'm always constantly learning. We are constantly evolving as humans and stuff, right? That's why what I yell at people when they talk about Christianity, and it's like, okay, so you can teach a 5-year-old to understand what Jesus is, right? And you can teach a 5-year-old to say that they're Christian and that means that they're going to go to heaven. A 5-year-old could learn that. And then you ask that same 5-year-old when they're 18 years old about the same fucking story. They're going to tell you the basic fundamentals of what they learned at 5. They're going to be telling you the same basic fundamentals when you're 18. Now, you might have more stuff to back it up and stuff, but the fundamental of what you heard at 5 is going to be the same story as what you told when you're 18. And it's like, well, then that is dead. That is a dead human, and there's no evolving there. So the story of Jesus, it's like, well, if a 5-year-old can understand it, then I'm not too impressed. Because I'm not impressed with something that, if a 5-year-old can make a decision like that and have understanding, then to me does not matter. It's useless and shit, right? Why would God ever send me down as a human being here to learn from this human experience of what I'm doing, where I'm constantly evolving with my understanding of what this life experiences is? Why would God give me a piece of information that tells me to stop thinking? Oh, well, stop thinking. Stop trying. Just put your faith in the Lord. Okay, so my job now is to bend down on my knees as a slave and to worship some invisible entity that I've never seen, nobody's ever seen it and shit, right? So that's my whole purpose as being a human. So that's what I say, yeah, I was a Christian, I was all into that shit, right? But then like I grew older and I kept evolving, and I saw how demonic and evil the Christians were around me, that the people, I wanted to mention this, I get totally wrapped up, I wanted to mention this. What happens is that you have these protected groups, right? Which was like the LGBTQ and stuff. They're in a protected group, okay? So before the LGBTQ was a protected group, all of the Satanists and all the demonic pedophiles and scumbag motherfuckers, those people look for groups that have protective forces in them and shit, right? That's what Christianity was before. That's why in Christianity and the Catholicism, you had so much pedophiles and demonic forces existing in that group, because they were a protected group, and those people that are those evil people, they search out those groups that provide protection for them and don't judge them because of how weird they are and stuff. As long as they spout that stupid mantra, oh, I worship Jesus, Jesus died for my sins. As long as they say those programmed words that you were taught a 5-year-old and shit, right? Then nobody questions them and shit, right? Because they're a protected group. It's like, well, why do you think all that bullshit is going on in the LGBTQ community? Because those are those demonic people that will exist no matter where it is. Whether they exist in Christianity, whether they exist in the LGBTQ. Those are those demonic evil forces that are always going to exist. You're never going to stop that shit. So when you're attacking a group thinking you're going to stop Satan, you don't know, people are so fucking dumb and shit, right? So getting off track, but so get back to the thing about Mangini. This is what I want to show you. I expose you, Mangini. I expose you as the fraud that you are, and you won't deal with it. And you hate me, you hate my existence, because I expose you. And there's no doubt about it, and let me show you what I'm talking about.
And I certainly am not going to let other people who probably know less about cards than me dictate that to me. No way. No way. I've fallen into that. I've gotten down. I've considered stepping away. Why? Because I allowed other people to affect me. If you see somebody that has a card and you feel a little jealousy, feel happy for them.
This is the part. Feel happy for them. This is where I expose you, Mangini. I have made a world-class historical breakthrough that Michael Jackson's real parents are Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. And through the understanding of that, we now have an understanding of what Michael Jackson's actual art, his actual songs, his actual art, his work, the craft of what he was trying to perfect. It's the writing of the songs, it's the artistic shit. Like the dancing and all that stuff, it's okay, it's artistic in its way and stuff, but anybody who really knows anything, the songwriting is where the real craft, the real artist, that's where it's at and shit, right? So through my explanation of who Michael Jackson is, now I'm able to decipher Michael Jackson's actual art, the thing that's the highest level of what it is, and I'm explaining his songs, right? I've made a monumental leap forward of an accomplishment, and you're not fucking happy for me because you refuse to fucking talk about it because it digs into you and you fucking resent it. You hate me for it because it shows that you're not the person of what you think you are, and you can't fucking accept it. And it shows the flaws. It shows you're flawed, it shows you're weak, and it shows that you are lying to yourself, because here you are on camera trying to profess this kind of thing, this enjoyment of other people's accomplishments, and let's celebrate that. No, you are a fraud, and I expose you as the fraud. Let me finish this little piece off.
Feel happy for them.
Yeah, right.
If you get a little bit of money, a little extra money, or a card gifted to you, say thank you.
I gave you, Mangini, an incredible piece of an experience, to be able to experience my Michael Jackson story before the whole world agrees with it and forces it upon you. I gave you an incredible gift, and you fucking blocked me. You refuse to fucking talk to me. You can't even give me your honest opinion about the quality of the work that I have done. You can't even give me your opinion about it because you are a fraud. And there is no doubt about it, and I'm telling you, you are a fraud, of which level is that you conjured black magic in order to gain the possessions of which you have acquired in your life, because you're a self-serving, selfish human being. You are a fraud. The only reason you ever have done anything in this world is if it benefits you. I know many motherfuckers just like you and shit, right? And all of the good qualities that you do have are far swamped and overmatched by the negativity and the demonic forces that actually surround you, of which a person like me can see very easily, right? Because I'm not the demonic, I'm not controlled by Satan and shit, right? I am a free person, which you are not. You are controlled, and I expose you as the fraud you are, right? So keep being the fraud you are. Trust me. I know don't know your past, don't know your future. I know the past. I know your fucking future. And it's not pretty, you dumb motherfucker.